Hello, my name is David. Previously, I've uploaded a YouTube video on domestic violence awareness. Today, I'm going to talk to you about overcoming anxiety and stress. This is a poem which I wrote about that subject. Afterwards, I'll explain about the themes of each verse. When anxious or stressed, a mirror can be your best, most helpful friend. You can make funny faces, swear and yell at it, shrug your shoulders, blow kisses at it, whatever you like. The limits have no end. I find, personally, doing that works incredibly well when I want to give anxiety and stress a spell. Deep breathing is another effective measure. Every time you breathe in relaxation. Wherever you are, it truly is a pleasure. Every time you breathe out anxiety and stress. You don't need such painful things in your life. You deserve a painless path to success. Since taking up exercise, my body is a stress-free zone. I have to look after it. After all, it is the only one I own. Exercise makes you feel so much better in body and mind. Anxious? Exercise. Stressed? Exercise. Unwind. Gardening, playing with pets or children, meditation, yoga, laughing out loud, listening to music works well too. Sharing with friends ideas on reducing anxiety and stress can be nice, to chat about all points of view. Anxiety and stress thrive like weeds when we place too high expectations on ourselves and others. Reducing those expectations makes life easier to handle for ourselves and our fellow brothers. Drawing pictures and painting in bright colours is great. Doing those things puts you in a more relaxed state. You don't have to suffer from anxiety and stress. Laugh instead. Play instead. Put on a happy dress. Let's look at that first verse. When anxious or stressed, a mirror can be your best, most helpful friend. You can make funny faces, swear and yell at it, shrug your shoulders, blow kisses at it, whatever you like. The limits have no end. I find personally doing that works incredibly well when I want to give anxiety and stress a spell. When I was feeling anxious about something, whether it was giving a speech or going for a date, a job interview, even jumping out of an aeroplane, what I used to do was look at a mirror. I'd tell myself in a calm, serious manner, I'll be fine. I've got nothing to worry about. It'll all work out well. The people will love me. The problem was, though, that the image I saw in the mirror didn't reflect my words. Instead, I saw tension. And if I was to be so tense, my speech wouldn't begin effective. It would go disastrously. My date could tell me to drop dead. The employer would say, "Not here, thanks." And if I was tense jumping out of a plane, well, I could end up flat on my face. So how do I remove tension from my face now? And how can you remove tension from your face when you're suffering from anxiety and stress? The answer is to make funny faces, make weird noises, laugh, anything you like really. After all, it is your mirror. I'll demonstrate. I'll pretend I'm looking at my mirror, not you. Ah! So my date won't like me. Who cares? It's her loss, not mine. Oh, duh. And you know what? Oh, gee, you look so beautiful today. Mwah! And who cares if I do drop dead if the parachute doesn't open? You know what's the worst thing that can happen? I'd lose my refund. Oh, you can do that too. Of course you can. When you just before a stressful event, and your anxiety and stress can be replaced by relaxation and fun. Try it. What I've found, life's lesson 116,249, is that the closer your relationship is with your mirror, the further you are away from anxiety and stress. If you don't like what you see when you're looking in a mirror, smile and laugh at the mirror. When you do that, you look so much more attractive. I can even tell that from here. Deep breathing is another effective measure. Every time you breathe in relaxation, wherever you are. It truly is a pleasure. Every time you breathe out anxiety and stress. You don't need such painful things in your life. You deserve a painless path to success. Now, when we look at breathing, try to look at it as a battle between you and your heart. It's a battle you can win. When you hold your breath for a few seconds, like this, your heart thinks, what's going on here? I didn't tell you to hold your breath. And your heart behaves like a spoiled brat. It's time to change your attitude towards your heart from one of almost adoration to a godlike figure, to one of disdain to a spoiled brat. This time, try it with me. We, together, hint, hint, are going to take a deep breath, then hold it for 3 or 4 seconds, then breathe out. Ready? Very good. Every time you decide to hold your breath, every time you decide to take some deep breaths, you are in control, not that spoiled brat of a heart. Just before a potentially stressful situation, such as sitting for an exam or about to compete in a sporting contest, and you feel your anxiety rising, that spoiled brat of a heart has a real smirk on its face and says, good, now breathe fast. It's at such times you need to take control. Every time you breathe in relaxation. Every time you breathe out anxiety and stress. I'll show you what I mean. When you do that for a couple of minutes, your anxiety and stress levels lower and your confidence returns. It may need some practice, but it's a great routine to have. The more you do it, the better you get at it. Remember, you are in control of your breathing. You are in control of your anxiety and stress, not that spoiled brat of a heart. Let's look at that third verse again. Since taking up exercise, my body is a stress-free zone. I have to look after it. After all, it is the only one I own. Exercise makes you feel so much better in body and mind. Anxious? Exercise. Stressed? Exercise. Unwind. When I talk about exercise, I generally mean outdoor exercise, such as walking, running, or cycling, or swimming. You can do whatever exercise you like, so long as you enjoy it. That's the main thing. Maybe you'd like to try some sport you've never done before. Go for it. Don't delay. Go out and play. Exercise acts as an enjoyable escape from anxiety and stress. It doesn't matter how fast you can walk or run or cycle or swim. It's that you can do it, and do it with a smile on your face. When you're feeling anxious about some potentially stressful situation, by doing exercise beforehand, it helps to clear the mind and release nervous energy and stress, and you'll think so much clearer. When you do exercise, relax and stay alert. Unless you are alert, you might do what happened to me one time. I was so relaxed. I was jogging along, completely daydreaming, not a care in the world. I was listening to my favourite music. Life was heaven. And then I ran into a tree. Playing team sport is a great way to meet people. You support your mates and they support you. That feeling of singing your club song after you win a game it's almost magical. Anxiety and stress can't possibly exist at such times. Doing exercise, such as jogging by yourself, is also special. What I most enjoy about it is a sense of freedom. I'm in my own space. It's a space I need sometimes. Do you want to do some exercise? Great! Before you go outside, leave your stress and anxiety behind. Smile and have fun. And remember, stay alert. Don't run into any trees. Let's revisit verse 4. Gardening, playing with pets and children, meditation, yoga, laughing out loud and listening to music works well too. Sharing with friends ideas on reducing anxiety and stress can be nice. To chat about all points of view. Gardening is such a great way to release built-up anxiety and stress, and anger too, because you're using your tools in a productive way. It's so rewarding, such a special feeling to see the results of your hard work. The flowers bloom, thanks to you. Playing with pets is fun. It's also relaxing and great for your body and mind. When you're feeling anxious and stressed, playing with your pets acts as an enjoyable distraction. When I see people walking their dogs, I hardly ever see any stress or anxiety on the faces of the dogs or their owners. I've seen people living under the most horrendous of circumstances have a warm smile on their face when they cuddle a pet. When I say playing with children can help overcome your anxiety and stress, I don't mean playing computer games. I do mean outdoor games. Use your imagination. Get some exercise. Have some fun. It's great. Not only for you, but for your children as well. They'll learn from you. They'll think, what will I do when I'm anxious or stressed? I know. I'll go outside and play. It could be one of the most important lessons they ever learn from you. Meeting with your friends can be relaxing enough in itself to reduce your stress level and anxiety. But when you share ideas with your friends on overcoming anxiety and stress, it can open up your mind and theirs to possibilities that weren't even thought of. Give it a go. Let's look at verse 5. Anxiety and stress thrive like weeds when we place too high expectations on ourselves and others. Reducing those expectations makes life easier to handle for ourselves and our fellow brothers. When we place too high expectations on ourselves, and we even strive for perfection, whatever that is, we are setting ourselves up to have a very big fall. It also makes us less willing to try something new. Not only that, but when we make the effort to give a speech or to go on a date or try a new job, and we do our best, but we're not perfect, and we don't meet our too high expectations, we tend to struggle and can even slide into depression. A far, far healthier attitude to have is, I'll do my best. I'll be relaxed, have a bit of fun. I'll be myself. The more often you do that, it becomes a habit. And that habit acts like a weed killer on the weeds, which are perfection, too high expectations, anxiety, and stress. What about the too high expectations we place on others? When we expect someone to be perfect and they say something silly and you feel stressed, how about next time you don't expect them to be perfect? They'll be just okay. So when they do something good, you congratulate them. And when they do something quite ordinary, you'll accept it. And you won't be stressed. By lowering your expectations, you're lowering your stress level. Remember that till you die. Hopefully not for a very long time. It is a fact, a sad fact, that the anxiety levels of our society, especially among young people, have increased due to social media. We see distorted images and think, I wish that was me. That person is in perfect health. So fantastic looking. Rich. Has the best job. So romantic. Has a body to die for. The world's best lover. Look at those eyes. Those luscious lips. That beautiful hair. If you were to think that while looking at me, you could be 100% correct. On the other hand, before talking about my last verse, I would like to mention two other issues to do with anxiety and stress. The first is, it is absolutely vital when feeling anxious to focus on the very now, rather than what happened on the past or what could happen in the future. I'll give you an example of what players do when kicking for goal in Australian rules football. They have the process of placing their weight forward, of aiming for the target, of holding the ball firmly, of taking 5 steps, of dropping the ball down, of seeing their foot onto the ball, of kicking through. By focusing 100% on that process, the memory of missing goals in the past, the yelling of the opposition players, and the fear they could miss this goal and lose the match as a result does not enter their minds. They focus 100% on the process, on the very now. You can apply that same process to any situation when you're feeling anxious. If you've got bad memories of a past experience and have a fear of what could happen in the future, push those feelings away and focus on the very now. Go through your process, for example, for a job interview, of confidently introducing yourself, of telling the employer why you'd be a great asset to them, of asking suitable questions, of paying attention to what you're told, etc., etc., etc. Go through your process. I'm looking at you now, not for what happened to you in the past, not for what could happen to you in the future, but for who you are now. And I like what I see. The other issue to deal with anxiety and stress is to realise what is in your control and what isn't. If you are worried, for example, about putting on too much weight, what is in your control is to talk to your GP, to talk to specialists, and maybe do some exercise. However, if you're feeling stressed and anxious about the obesity rates in China, for example, you have no control over that. So there's no point getting stressed out about it, is there? Is there? In relationships, what is in your control is how you feel about another person. You can decide whether you love them, like them, or leave them. What is out of your control is how the other person feels about you. They can decide whether they love you, or like you, or leave you. Another example. The climate has been changing for millions of years. That's a fact. However, recently, some individuals, some organisations have said that climate change is in our control. As a result of their delusions, their lies, anxiety and stress levels, even suicide rates, have increased dramatically, especially among children. How dare they? It's up to you and me to say climate change is out of our control, so therefore we're not going to feel anxious or stressed about it. We've got other, more important things to deal with, haven't we? The last lines of my poem are, drawing pictures and painting in bright colours is great. Doing those things put you in a more relaxed state. You don't have to suffer from anxiety and stress. Laugh instead. Play instead. Put on a happy dress. Over the last few years, adult colouring in books have become more and more popular. No wonder. I find that colouring in, especially just before bedtime, puts me in such a relaxed state that anxiety and stress cannot possibly exist, and I have a great night's sleep. If you haven't done it, try it. Look, it doesn't matter if you make an elephant's trunk pink, or if you have a zebra with red and green stripes. Who cares? There are hardly going to be drawing police looking over your shoulder saying, "Hey, what's going on here?" You have the freedom to colour in the way you like. Use your imagination. What are you going to do tonight? If you'd rather not do some colouring in, why not sing and dance along to your favourite music? Don't worry, I won't be watching you. But if I do, I wouldn't expect you to be perfect. So don't expect it of yourself. Just have fun. Now, are you the sort of person who feels anxious and stressed when watching the news? If so, remember you do have the ability to turn it off. If more people were to turn off the news and instead have a good old-fashioned laugh and play games, even dance, anxiety and stress levels would reduce to a huge degree. And I'll let you in on a little secret here. 99% of counsellors and psychologists don't watch the news. Okay. If someone says to you, though, you have to watch the news to see what's happening in the world, you have to suffer from anxiety and stress, just say, no, I don't. I deserve better. So, how well have you been listening to this broadcast? I've got a little quiz for you. Question 1. When anxious or stressed, what can be your best, most helpful friend? A. Television. B. Social media. C. Mirror. The answer is mirror. Question 2. What's the most accurate description of your heart? A. A spoiled brat, or B. A godlike figure? The answer is a spoiled brat. Question 3. When can you solve the most complex problems? A. Before exercise. B. During exercise. And C. After exercise. The answer is after exercise. Question 4. How can you overcome anxiety and stress? A. Gardening. B. Playing with pets. C. Playing with children. D. Meeting with friends. E. Laughing out loud. F. Colouring in. The answer is all of the above and more. Question 5. When we place too high expectations on ourselves and others, and we strive for perfection, what happens? A. We set ourselves and others up for a very big fall. Or B. We reach those expectations and we do reach perfection. The answer is we set ourselves up for a very big fall. Question 6. When you focus on the very now, what happens? A. Anxiety can't exist. Or B. The past and future are irrelevant. The answer is both. One final question. When you start to feel anxious and stressed about something out of your control, what are you going to do? The answer is in your hands. Thank you. For more information on how to contact me, please see the further details in the bio below.